Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. And as you can see, I am still in a rather spooky mood today. It's a Halloween card, and it was inspired by a line in from Harry Potter, from the Goblet of Fire. And there is a line where Ron calls Victor Crumb, of whom he is wildly jealous because Victor has taken Hermione to the dance, and Ron calls him a right pumpkinhead. And so I have made a pumpkinhead spinner card today, and if you stay with me, I will show you what I did. This is a piece of pumpkin pie which I have cut at 4 inches by 11.5 and folded at 5 3/4 to make my card. And on top of it I have a piece of our basic black DSP, which is from the neutral stack, and I've just lightly tacked it down in the corners with a piece of low tack tape, because I don't want this moving around when it goes through my big shot. And may even put another piece along the edge here, because I want a nice even edge, just to slow it down a bit, just to stop it moving around. Now I'm not going to use the smallest of the layering circles dies. I'm going to use the next smallest, and I'm going to place this quite near to the top of my card. I'm just going to fold that over for a moment so I can see where my card ends, and I'm just trying to get that as even as I possibly can. And I think that's about it. It's trying to get a balance between how I want it to look and giving enough room for the elastic to sit underneath. And I think that's probably about the best compromise I can get. So a bit more of my very low tack tape. Now I'm sticking this to the back of my hand first, because what I'm going to do, I'm only going to run this through the big shot until it's just gone over the die, and not so that it reaches the bits of tape that I've stuck down, because I have noticed that even low tack tape, once it's been through the big shot, because of the pressure that the big shot puts on it, suddenly isn't all that low tack anymore. So I don't want to risk tearing something that I want to keep on my card. Now I think that's pretty much where I want it. I may tweak it a little bit when I actually get over it to the machine, but I'm just going to go and cut that out, and I shall be right back. And here I am. Here it is. So I'm just going to very carefully remove my low tack tape, and now I have my aperture in my card pretty much where I want it to be. While I was over at the big shot, I cut myself out 2 basic black circles using the smallest of the framelets dies. So this is the next to smallest, and this is the smallest. It fits inside neatly like that. And these are going to be the spinner pieces that go in the middle. So to make that happen, I have some elastic thread, and I'm just going to cut myself off a nice piece of it. More than I think I'm going to need, much more than I think I'm going to need. And this is sold for making elastic bracelets. So if you have a look in the jewellery supplies, the beading supplies, you will find clear elastic cord, and it comes in a number of gauges and a number of colours. And I'm telling you this because the last time I made a card like this, that was one of the questions that I got asked. So I want this to stick down pretty well. So I have fast fuse here, and I'm going to really plaster the back of this disc with some fast fuse, if the fast fuse wants to play, which it doesn't today. Absolutely covering it in fast fuse everywhere. It's fast fuse. So, ooh, missed a bit there. And fast fuse is well up to this job. You need not fear with your fast fuse. Okay, so I'm just going to lay my clear elastic just across the middle. I'm not putting any tension on it. I'm just letting it fall where it wants to, more or less across the middle. Okay. that even? Not quite. I think it needs to come slightly this way. And when I'm happy with how it's lying, which I almost am, there we go, that's better. I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to sandwich it on top very, very carefully. And I'm going to press down quite hard so that I know that my elastic is well stuck in there. Sorry for the bump there. Okay. So now I'm bringing back my base card and I'm just going to align this where I want it to be inside my card, and I'm going to use tape for this. I've got a bit of tear and tape here. So I want to make sure that this doesn't pull out. And again, putting down plenty of tape, I'm going to use the reverse of my piercing tool to make sure that that is nicely in place, and same thing here. The thing to be careful of, and it's not going to happen here, I hope, is that when this spins it doesn't foul on the edges of the aperture there. This is sticking more to my fingers than the card. Now on this part of the card I can put lots and lots of pieces of tape because all of this is going to be covered. Okay, but on this part of the card I haven't got an awful lot of room to play with, and I want it to be stuck down really quite well. So I'll put another piece of tape on there, and I'm going to take the backing off this piece of tape. Right, so I've got fast fuse all over the back of that. Been very generous with it because at the moment actually fast fuse is in October 2016. Fast fuse is on offer with Stampin' Up at the moment. You buy the starter cartridge and you get a refill free, and there is lots and lots on the refill, so at the moment it is a very, very good buy. So that now is my spinner mechanism. So you can see some elastic showing here, which I didn't want to happen. Never mind, I'll chop it away. Better. So I wasn't quite careful enough there, but you'll be more careful than I was, won't you? And that now spins around. Okay. Right, so now let's build up the front of this card. I've got lots of body parts here, which I've stamped and fussy cut out using Mr. Funny Bones. I've got all the parts of the skeleton, and I've also cut out the pumpkin head. Okay, because the one side is going to be the skeleton head, the skull, and the other side is going to be the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin head. And to save myself a bit of time, I've applied these to double-sided sticky sheet, and I'm going to build up my skeleton. It's going to take a little bit of time on this, so I'll probably fast forward. Oh, before I do start fast forwarding, I'm putting the skull, I'm putting the head right near to the bottom of the spinner, because otherwise it just looks weird. Alright, so I'm going to stick all these bits down. See you in a bit. Most of his body's there now, and I was so keen to get into putting him together that I think I forgot to tell you that I've stamped on Versamark on basic black, and I've heat embossed with white embossing powder. And I should have told you the bits that I use, shouldn't I? So I've stamped and embossed one of those, and one of those, and two of those, and four of those, because you need two for his legs and two for his arms. Two of those, 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 and of course the pumpkin head, one of those. All right, so apart from the pumpkin head, those are the pieces that you need to make a skeleton. All right, now a reason why I've stopped is that I want to have him holding the sentiment, and the sentiment that I'm going to be using, let me bring this back in again, is this one: have a humorous Halloween. And yeah, my husband loves puns, so he'll like that one. Piece of pumpkin pie, basic black archival, and the stamp is already mounted up on my clear block. So lots of light tapping, and I have just recently re-inked my basic black, so I'm hoping that it will be nice and juicy. So I'm going to stamp quite near to the bottom of this because I'm going to cut a banner off. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that has given me a lovely clear impression. So I'm just going to take this and trim it down a bit. Be right back. There it is, and I've cut it down to 1 inch wide, and I'm going to trim off the ends with my triple banner punch. So I'm going to put the card into the slider on the punch so that the sentiment is upwards, because I don't want to cut away any of those words that I've already put there. And if I'm sounding a little bit out of breath, that's because the doorbell just went and I had to run down and open it. And it was a nice man with a parcel for me. So I'm glad I did. There you go. So that's the one side, and same thing for the other side. I'm just lining that up pretty much where I want it. Now, if I wanted to take it all the way to the end, that would be easy enough, but I don't want to. I just want to cut off a small piece. And I think that is about right. And that, yep, that'll work well for me. So that's going to go across the middle of my card, just like that. Put my punch out of the way, and I'm going to use Fast Fuse simply because I have it handy, and I'm just going to put that across his middle, just sort of like that. Don't want it dead straight, I want it at a jaunty angle. Okay, so now I'm going to go and finish off where his hands and arms are going to go. And I suspect I may have given myself a bit of problem on that side, but never mind, we'll work with it. Okay, so I've done some playing around with the bones on this side, and I've got them kind of how I wanted them to. So now I'm going to work on this side. So I have here his upper arm bone. So I'm going to start at the shoulder end. So there is the shoulder bone. And this side is going to be, he's going to have his arm wrapped over this banner. So there's the shoulder bone. Now this is the lower part of the arm bone. So the shoulder bone is connected to the arm bone, and the arm bone is connected to the hand bone. And hear the word of the Lord. There you go. And if you don't know that song, you will have no idea what I'm talking about. There we go, them bones, them drive. That's the one. Okay. Right, so only one bit left to do, and that is to do the other side of his head, which is the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. And I've done this on Whisper White and embossed it with, I'm stamped with basic black ink and embossed it with clear powder, and come back, I'm not supposed to do that, thank you very much. and coloured it in with my mini Marvellous markers. So I used Pumpkin Pie with a little bit of Tangerine Tango for the orange part of the pumpkin, and I think it's Basic Grey I think I used for the stem. So that is the card pretty much done. There it is finished, and let me flip that out of the way so I can get a good flick at it, and head spins around nice and freely. So I hope you've enjoyed this project, and if so, please do like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. If you want to visit my blog, my Facebook page, or my online store, the information is in the more information box below this video. I will be posting more videos soon, and I hope that you'll come back and join me. But for now, thank you very much for being with me, and I hope that I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.